What is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys a quick little review of Dune Awakening. I've put well over 50 hours into this game on my Steam Deck. I am casting it onto my TV so you guys can see this a little bit better. But I have had a blast playing this game, and this is 100% solo, by the way. I have not played it with anybody at all yet, but yeah, this is a great game, especially once you get to the point of actually creating a survival fabricator. These things are awesome, and they will be your best friend, because that's where you can start making the better stuff. But is this playable solo? Very much so, yes. Are you going to get bored? No, because there is quite literally so much to do on this map. I still haven't gone all down here and discovered everything down here that I have to. I'm going to go down here one of these days and discover everything there, but there's so much to do and missions and whatnot. It is awesome. And then, if you're also curious, what about the Landsrad stuff? Can you do that solo? Yes. You can go ahead and actually contribute to the Landsrad in multiple different ways solo. You don't have to sit there and, worry about being in a clan and doing everything the clan says and all this other kind of stuff. So if you don't want to have a clan and you want to do it solo, you can do it solo. You can go ahead and join the Harkonnen or the Atreides. Either one, doesn't matter. Matter of fact, actually, here's a little surprise. You can actually play both sides. It's literally a part of the game. You can actually do that. You can actually do that. So for anyone who wanted to play both sides, you can do that. So anyone who's also curious, you can have multiple bases. One base here, one base here, one base here. And you can make your bases bigger. There's literally ways of doing that, which is another reason why I said the survival fabricators will be your best friend, because you can make these little things, which this makes it taller, vertical, and then stacking units. This one makes it longer and bigger, gives you a bigger area to use. So keep that in mind. If you want to make your base bigger, that is exactly how you do it. You don't have to relocate or destroy or do anything else like that. You will have to in the beginning of the game, but your beginner base doesn't really matter, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay? Oh, it looks like it's having a little bit of a freeze moment. This does happen quite often, actually. Come on. Especially if there's like a lot of people on your server. But of course I am also casting it onto my TV. you can see it's moving, but it doesn't want to exit out of the thing. But yeah, those things are awesome, which is why they will be your best friend. If I can actually get out of this, would be nice. Yep. Let's see. I'm gonna hold it down. Maybe holding it down will get it to go out a little bit better. No? Guess not. But anyways, so other than the random like connection issues, kind of like this, where it just kind of lags a little bit, and it will do this for probably about a minute, and then it fixes itself and everything else. So that is partly due to probably how many people you have in your server that you're playing on, or in general, it might just be how many people are doing stuff on your internet. But yeah, you can make quite a bit of those. Those things are very awesome. Doesn't take very much once you get to steel ingot, which is not hard to get to. I mean, I think I got to that spot about 20 hours in. It's just when you're playing solo, you're going to be going from one thing to another thing to another thing, because you got to do a bit of everything if you're going to be playing solo, as a suggestion. And I do mean like going out, doing specific missions that you might have to do for, whatever group you're part of. And then on top of that, just gathering resources and also power sources and whatnot, so that you can keep your base actually, going and whatnot. So also keep that in mind. Make sure you're always constantly feeding your little power sources to your actual shield and whatnot. Because if not, you're gonna come you're gonna come back in and you're gonna find your stuff's broken or missing. I wasn't on here for a couple of days because I was waiting for like a little thing to get fixed, and then come on and like my front doors on my base was just gone. I mean, everything was there, it was perfectly fine. Minus I think I was missing like two other things, but I was like, huh, that's interesting. But yeah, my shield was down and everything. Like, holy crap. This has definitely been a lot longer than a minute. Thank you. But yeah, that kind of thing right there. And then either it can be due to like the amount of people who just went in, and or the fact that I am casting it from my Steam Deck to my TV. That does tend to be an issue, but after a while it does go away. But it's usually the amount of people on here, because despite what they say, this is a very popular game. This is fun to play. But okay, now that out of that like laggy crap, so lots of missions and lots of places to explore. Like this right here, this is a radiated area, like literally radiation. So you have these things to explore if you want. Watch out for this whole area right here. This entire belt right here is all quicksand. And how you tell if it's quicksand or not is it kind of has like a steaminess to it. Most of all, this is just the alerting sand. So like the worms will come after you a hell of a lot quicker. Right? Here's the crevice, which is you can explore this with a bike and with a buggy. Is just enter from over here, right next to this, the Rift Watch. Because if you don't, you're gonna have fun way getting down. Now you can get down, but you do have to go in from over here on this side, from basically where the Helios Gate is. You have to go from here down this way. Okay, that's in general the only way to get in here. Or you go from this general spot where my base is, which I'm gonna eventually build up and then have it connected here so I can just go in and go down. But yeah, so keep that in mind and build bases to a location to where you're gonna have a lot of resources, or at least close to it. I mean, most of my bases are relatively close to anything that's going to be either high resource area or very important area. Like here, where you had a very particular like mission that was kind of annoying to do because there was a glitch. So if you know the glitch, you know. And once you get to a point, it's gonna suck, but it's not that bad. I only waited like about a day, and then it finally fixed itself. But you won't get bored playing this game. Trust me. There's a lot to do between you going into these locations at least once or twice every day. I do suggest you doing that every single day you play. At least go to these places right here, because they will give you very important materials. And then same thing with these places, very important. And then with these also. This is a really good place to get stuff like complex machinery. You need a lot of that to make a lot of different stuff, especially your vehicles. So go there. Okay. This purple little indicator here, this isn't just your main objective. That's actually your main story. Like all these other little quill-like ones right here, like the quill tip things, these are like kind of contract missions. So these are like side quests for the most part. Anything that's a purple like that is story missions. And or if you see like a purple cave, so if you're doing like the little cave missions where you're looking for the very specific cave, right? Each one of those specific caves, when you're coming to do like looking for the Fremen, they're gonna be purple caves. They're gonna be marked purple, and you can easiest way to find them is go to a high spot, use your little like area search pod thing, this little thing right here. Go to inventory, this thing right here. Use this, your survey probe. That will help a lot. It'll find a lot of different items, and it will help you find, in general, the caves. And I don't mean it's going to mark the cave on the map for you. No, it's just going to unlock the area of the map so you can actually see it instead of it being all like blocked out like this. Right? That's the whole point of the survey probes. So keep that in mind. So between all of that, you have nothing to worry about getting bored if you're a solo player. There's so much to do. Not to mention when there's like a random crash landing of a spaceship that happens. Honestly, be careful of that. Unless you have like an ornithopter to where you can like land, get something real quick, and then get in it. But even then, good luck because a lot of times the worm shows up really quickly. But yeah, so it doesn't matter which side you choose or anything else like that. Just always remember, go and check these places out. Make sure you go and do your daily stuff and easily like look, there's a purple cave right there. Yeah, kind of case in point. Just look for those purple caves. That's the caves that you need to look for when it comes to you looking and doing the Fremen missions, looking for the Fremen and all that. And this is somewhat of a road back here if you're curious. But yeah, great game, lots to do. Like literally, whether you're playing solo or with friends, there's so much to do. Like so much, especially once you get to the high desert, which I haven't gotten there yet, mainly because I haven't tried to get there. I've just been doing a bit of everything and just having fun exploring and looking at stuff and doing the story. Honestly, the story is very compelling. Now that I'm like 11 minutes in, I highly doubt anyone's actually still watching this. And if you are, you're awesome. You get to hear this on what I'm thinking about because I'm going to do a short probably in a couple days or maybe another week or so. But I have a funny feeling because through the story I've played, I just got done killing this lady who was like a leader of this Masquerade group that you go against. And when you beat her, you end up finding out that she was sent by the Bene Gesserit and all the same people that you were sent by, and she had a 5 that highlighted on her face when you kill her. Much like how you have a 6 that highlights on your face at the beginning of the game. So I'm thinking that you're some kind of like Z clone or whatever that group of humans are that like enhance other people via technology or cloning and whatnot, right? I'm thinking that's what you are. The Bene Gesserits are working along with these people to be able to actually create possibly the person who's supposed to like become the Al Gahib, right? That's what they're doing because the Fremen are gone. They need to do this, or like all hell's got to break loose, or something along those lines. And I'm thinking that's what it is. Like you're literally a clone, and that's why you're able to choose your background and your backstory and all this other kind of stuff, right? But that's just a thought, and I'm pretty sure once I get farther in the story and I meet like someone who has the Roman numeral 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then 1, it'll get even more interesting. I'm pretty sure that's going to end up being the case. And if it does, I'm definitely going to do a video on it and you'll definitely see it. So if you're this far in and you still caught on to that, that's awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you for watching this far in. But yeah, great game. If you're curious on it, literally play it. It's definitely worth it. I've had a blast. I still kind of want to go down here and build a base back down here somewhere, just so that I can have an area. But at the same time, you're safe here. You don't have to actually worry about having like anyone invade your base. I haven't had that happen to me yet, and I've had about 50 hours plus in, and so far no one's raided my base and destroyed my shit and taken everything. So that's a positive. So yeah, great game. Have fun playing it, solo or otherwise. So much to do. There's literally not that much you can tell about it other than like play it. Graphics on it's pretty good, even with you like doing what I'm doing right now, which is casting it onto the TV. I mean, casting it onto the TV definitely does kill the graphics a little bit. It is grainy. I'm not gonna lie. Now, when you play it on the Steam Deck, not that bad. Not that bad at all. Like shoot, when I first built this base, it was nowhere near as big as it is now. It's like multiple stories. I'm still somewhat building onto it because I'm still adding on. I still need to finish that section. Been doing so many other things. Here's where I'm going to build my buggy. Haven't done a buggy yet, but this is where my buggy is going to be going. Got this fabricator here. Got this baby here. Make sure you're feeding these like on a regular basis. Make sure you're putting stuff in there, because if you're not, eventually your shit's going to shut down and you're not going to like that. This would be where my ornithopters is going to go, or at least landing spot for ornithopters. I still got to build A couple blood purifier locations right here. Got more storage. So much storage you need in this game. Yeah, this is my solo base, not to mention water. You're going to need lots of water storage, because if not, trust me, you're going to really regret not having any water storage. Looks like I gotta go and harvest blood. Which is why being close to locations like these, very good. This is my blood harvesting location right here, quite literally. And then over here and over here are my high-end material harvesting locations that I have. That's the whole point of why these ones are over here. I actually want to see how many bases you can make overall. I haven't tried that out yet, but I do know you have two different fiefs that you can make. You have a sub fief and a main fief. So far I've think 2 subs. But I also did make this one slightly bigger to the point to where you're actually able to build, not that direction, build farther this way. Like, I can actually build all the way over here if I actually want to. See? And this is what happens when you put one of those other little, like, vertical or stacker ones. You can actually do this. So this whole area I can build in. This whole area right here. So those stackers will be your friend. Trust me. And then it makes it allow you to make it taller and everything. That's how people make their bases so big. If you're wondering, just in case if you're like, oh my god, why can't I get my base bigger? You need to be able to have the survival crafter right here and be able to craft one of those things. Now, I'm not going to go back in there just in case it decides to go, eh. But, yeah, this is kind of what you're going to need to do. Just build a base, do this stuff, and just harvest and have fun. That's it for the video. And for anyone who's wondering on how well this works on Steam Deck, I did do an actual, like, playthrough. It was about, like, almost an hour long. And that was when the game first came out. So, relatively gameplay since then has gotten slightly better. It does still have its little hiccups like you saw with the, like, the little glitchiness, lagginess. That happens not all the time. Quite literally not all the time. That happens every so often, and it just matters on how many people are on the server. Oh, fuck you, Sardaukar. Oh yeah, and I have not paid taxes the entire time I've had my bases either, actually. Because, why? Fuck the Sardaukar. Oh, see? Look at that, getting all laggy and glitchy right now. But this does happen on a few occasions. It's an online game. And eventually it'll get a heck of a lot better, so I'm not too concerned on that, but I've had a blast playing this game, quite literally. And if anyone's curious on whether it's something that's going to be seriously fun to play, it is. You can go ahead and put like an hour or two in this, and you wouldn't even realize you've only played for an hour or two. Like, you'd feel like you hadn't played that long. You're like, holy shit, it's been 2-3 hours already? Holy crap. This is the first game I've played in a while, other than, I think, Monster Hunter, that's captivated me to the point to where I can play for more than 2 or 3 hours at a time. Because usually for me, I can only play in a game for about an hour, and then I either lose interest or I get bored, so I just don't want to play no more. With Dune, I'm literally going, okay, I need to go do this, I need to go do this, I gotta go over here, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna do this. And then I realize what time it is, and I gotta like, either get ready for work or cook dinner or something, so I'm like, oh shoot, okay. So, this is one of those games where if you ain't watching the time frame, you're gonna lose track of time, because you're having that much fun playing it. At least I am. That's my opinion. Now, other people might disagree. I generally don't care. That's all on them. But I've had fun. So, if you're wondering if it's worth playing solo, it is. I do suggest finding some friends that you can play with. It's definitely going to make it a little bit more interesting other than, you know, watching, like, some random person get eaten by a fucking sandworm, which you see happen quite often. I see it all the time. It's very funny. I've seen someone's ornithopter get eaten in midair by a worm once. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, check it out. I mean, you can go ahead and watch all the people playing. A lot of the people who've been playing have been having a blast. So, like, share, subscribe. Later, guys.